Let's face it, nature doesn't play by the rules. While we're busy complaining about traffic or losing Wi-Fi, animals out there are shoving grass in their ears, exploding on purpose, or evolving to be immortal. Today, we're diving into the most mind-blowing, jaw-dropping, and downright bizarre animal facts of 2025. These aren't your typical sloths are slow trivia bits. These are the facts that make you question reality and maybe your own species a little bit. By the time you reach the end, you'll not only be entertained, you'll be stunned, inspired, and possibly speechless. The fashionistas of the forest. Let's start with a fashion trend, but not the kind you'll see on runways. In 2025, researchers revisited a cultural phenomenon first observed over a decade ago: wild chimpanzees using grass as accessories. At the Chimfunshi Wildlife Orphanage in Zambia, a male chimp named Juma introduced a bizarre twist to an older trend, placing long blades of grass not only in their ears but also in their rectums. And no, this wasn't a health issue or an accidental act. Other chimps quickly began copying Juma's behavior. What researchers discovered is that these trends weren't functional. They weren't about communication or hygiene. They were about style. These wild chimps were showing signs of cultural expression. Think of it as the Instagram influencer effect, except it's gorillagram. If this doesn't blow your mind about how closely linked chimp society is to ours, just wait. Exploding for the greater good. Imagine having a defense mechanism so extreme that you literally explode. Some species of ants, like Calabopsis explodens, do just that. When threatened, these ants rupture their own bodies, releasing a toxic, sticky substance that glues and poisons their enemies. It's nature's most explosive sacrifice. Scientists call this process autophasis, and it's as metal as it sounds. Think of it as the insect version of jumping on a grenade for your team, but with your internal goo. Discovered in Southeast Asia and confirmed through biological analysis in 2025, exploding ants remind us that teamwork in the animal kingdom can get messy. Dolphins with names and mice with hearts. Dolphins are often touted as the brainiacs of the sea, but recent studies in 2025 have revealed something even more astonishing. Dolphins use unique signature whistles that function like names. These aren't random sounds. They're consistent, individual identifiers that each dolphin uses to announce themselves to others. In other words, dolphins have names, and possibly even nicknames. Somewhere deep in the Atlantic, Flippy and Splashy are probably throwing shade and calling each other out by name. Meanwhile, land animals like elephants and mice are showing signs of altruism. Researchers observed injured rodents and pachyderms helping each other in distress, sometimes using tools to assist in wound care or lifting injured peers. It's not just instinct, it's empathy. In a world where even rodents show compassion, humanity has some catching up to do. Cuttlefish in couture. Enter the flamboyant cuttlefish, a sea creature so fabulous that marine biologists have described it as the ocean's drag performer. No bigger than your hand, this little cephalopod struts along the seafloor flashing neon purples, yellows, and reds, warning predators that its venom is no joke. But here's the kicker, it's not just for show. The flamboyant cuttlefish contains a unique neurotoxin previously unknown to science, discovered during a 2024 to 2025 series of deep-sea dives off the coast of Australia. When you mix fashion and fatality like this, you get a creature that serves looks and lethal consequences all at once. The marsupial mole with the mutant DNA. Deep below Australia's outback lives a tiny, blind marsupial mole that looks like it was designed in a video game character generator. But don't be fooled by its size. Recent genetic analysis in early 2025 revealed that this odd creature carries a unique duplication of hemoglobin genes, allowing it to survive in near-suffocating underground conditions. What's stranger is that despite looking like the typical mole, it's more closely related to kangaroos and bandicoots than to any traditional mole. Scientists call this convergent evolution, different animals evolving the same solution to a problem. It's like nature copy-pasting without reading the source code. Rediscoveries and deep-sea drama. You may think we've discovered everything on Earth, but 2025 proved otherwise. In the remote waters of Indonesia, scientists rediscovered a living fossil, a new subspecies of coelacanth an ancient fish thought to have gone extinct 65 million years ago. If that's not enough to reboot your existential understanding of biology, how about this? Marine biologists in Peru reported a new, blob-headed fish with an enormous gelatinous snout and an amphibious mouse with webbed feet, both discovered in one of the Amazon's most unexplored river systems. These finds were confirmed by international teams and published in spring 2025. The ocean isn't done surprising us, and neither are the rainforests. Killer whales and jellyfish from the Twilight Zone. NOAA confirmed a brand new species of jellyfish in the Gulf of Mexico early this year, Orchistoma integrale. Unlike typical jellyfish, this one pulses in mesmerizing square shapes and emits a faint, eerie glow. It was discovered during a twilight dive and is now being studied for its unusual neural network. Meanwhile, off the coast of Antarctica, the elusive Type D killer whale, a mysterious subspecies with a smaller head and different eye patches, was finally captured on high-resolution video. Its behavior, social patterns, and diet differ sharply from typical orcas, suggesting an evolutionary split millions of years ago. As it turns out, we might need to revise our textbooks and fast. Record breakers and biological marvels. Prepare to be amazed. The tiger pistol shrimp, a tiny crustacean no bigger than your thumb, creates a sonic boom that reaches 230 decibels, louder than a jet engine. It uses this claw snap to stun prey and defend territory. The shockwave is so intense it creates a bubble that briefly reaches temperatures hotter than the surface of the sun. Yes, from a shrimp. If sound wasn't enough, let's talk vision. The star-nosed mole, arguably one of the weirdest-looking mammals, uses its 22 fleshy nasal appendages to detect seismic vibrations and electrical signals, basically functioning as a sixth sense. That nose processes touch faster than your eyes can process light. It's the world's fastest feeler on land. The lyrebird reigns as nature's most dedicated impressionist. Native to Australia, this bird can mimic anything from chainsaws to camera shutters. Recent recordings from 2025 captured a lyrebird reproducing the sound of a crying baby and a ringtone perfectly. These birds don't just copy, they remix. Reproductive madness. Let's venture into nature's freakiest flex, reproduction. Male Antechinus's tiny Australian marsupials mate so aggressively during their brief breeding season that they literally drop dead from exhaustion. Talk about going out with a bang. Female kangaroos, on the other hand, take multitasking to the next level. They have 3 vaginas and 2 uteruses. This helps them stay pregnant nearly year-round, even while raising other joeys. And if you think that's wild, the deep-sea anglerfish takes it to horror levels. The male fuses to the female's body permanently during mating, turning into a literal appendage. Immortality and ultimate strength. Yes, immortality exists, but only in jellyfish. Turritopsis dohrnii, nicknamed the immortal jellyfish, can revert its cells back to a juvenile state, effectively starting its life cycle over and over. This doesn't make it immune to predation, but it's as close to cheating death as biology gets. Meanwhile, on the forest floor, dung beetles prove strength isn't about size. These bugs can lift over 1,000 times their own body weight. If a human had that power, they'd be bench pressing 2 airplanes. Nature doesn't just amaze, it humbles. Wrapping up this wild ride. We promised you animal facts so insane they'd leave you speechless, and if you made it this far, your silence probably isn't from boredom. From exploding ants to fashion-forward chimps, from immortal jellyfish to sonar-punching shrimp, these creatures are proof that Earth is still full of secrets, drama, and plenty of humor. We laughed, we learned, and let's be honest, we cringed a little at kangaroo anatomy. So, what should you take away from all this? First, nature is stranger than fiction. Second, no matter how much we think we've discovered, there's always something jaw-dropping waiting to be found. And third, let's appreciate just how wildly creative evolution really is. If that didn't blow your mind, you might want to check your pulse. Hit that like button if you learned something new, smash subscribe for more wild animal madness, and drop your favorite insane fact in the comments. I'm reading them all. Until next time, stay curious, stay weird, and remember nature's the original content creator.